Monopoly of Amazon Flipkart in the e-commerce market may come to an end as the government operated project known as the ONDC come to existence. Watch till the end how they will do that, and also how you can benefit from it, and finally how this entire project might fail. Let me guess. You might be unaware of ONDC. If you are, you might be asking, what is ONDC? Well, it is a non profit e commerce website that is run by the government and is fully open source. To explain open source in the simplest way I know is that a programmer types out lines of codes, and once he's done with that, he saves those lines of code into a file that is known as the source code. After he's done with that, it's the programmer's choice to make that program open source or closed source. If he makes it open source, that source code file will be public to everyone, and anyone who can just download that source code, modify, read through, and remake that program. As you can see, the advantages of being open source is that you can trust them with your data, like you give while at signing up, like your mail address, your password, your age, and more. The advantage I'm about to say is the best of all. Imagine there is a major security flaw in the ONDC system, and the developers at the ONDC team can't fix it. Because it's open source, anyone who thinks they can fix this issue can download the source code, modify, and then give it back to the ONDC team and possibly save this project. The way it works is that there will be two sets of bodies essentially. There will be the big retailers like Flipkart and Reliance for your higher end of electronics and more. While for simpler things like groceries and the lower end of electronics, which you can rely on your neighborhood street shop. Just mentioned, a smaller neighborhood street seller will only sell at a 10 to 20 kilometer radius from their place. And it's also said that Flipkart and Reliance have joined ONDC for logistics services. Now we have to discuss what is ONDC's goal. The story starts as the government saw India's e-commerce market being fully dominated by just two foreign players. That, you guessed it, is Amazon and Flipkart. The only way they thought this could be fixed is to make it attractive by making it open source, and also you can get all the deals from very different sellers into one place, into one app. Speaking of advantages, let's see all the advantages that you get as a buyer. The first reason is that it is open source, and as I said before, there is no reason to distrust on any open source programs. Another advantage is that it is not platform centric, meaning that the buyer and the seller does not have to be at the same platform. For example, I sell a product at Flipkart, but you, as a buyer, happen to be at Amazon. This deal cannot be made. But here at ONDC service brings all those deals from Flipkart, Amazon, Zomato, Swiggy, and all into one place, so that it's convenient for the buyer. The local area sellers may deliver to you within 2 hours. Yes, you heard that right, 2 hours. Though this concept does not apply to the bigger retailers like Amazon and Flipkart, because their warehouses are much further away from your neighborhood. Next advantage is that no one in this network gets treated unfairly. For example, Amazon will give their own vendors more exposure to search results, as doing so they will get some more profit because that vendor is owned by themselves. Don't worry, Flipkart also does the very same practice. Before moving on to anything, I want to ask you a question to y'all. Who do you think owns Flipkart, meaning their parent company? A. Walmart, B. Best Buy, C. Amazon. D. Google. Comment your answers down below. I'll heart them if it's heart the first one. The next advantage is that you get to choose what delivery partner you want. ONDC made this feature as many delivery thefts and have been happening with Amazon and Flipkart's own delivery partner. So you can choose a partner that you can trust and avoid these issues. The next advantage is that the seller will be able to keep his or her own terms and conditions. In Amazon or Flipkart or any site in this world does not allow that. Though it is very limited on what the seller could remove or add as terms and conditions, but still it is there. There are a lot less disadvantages than I expected, but they are very intriguing for sure. So that's it for the advantages. Now let's move on to the disadvantages. The first one is that who will take care of a faulty product or late delivery? In Amazon or Flipkart's case, they will take care of it as it's their own delivery partner. But in this, we don't exactly know who will take charge of that. That's it for the disadvantages, but now there are many fatal ways they could fail. Number 1. Low flexibility of operation. It means that government-operated brands have to abide by a set of rules and regulations set by the government, which limits one's operation. Reason number 2, because this project is a non-profit, it is in a very questionable stage on how they will pay their default delivery partner and more. But this is just speculations of mine and the people I've talked with. Speaking of profits and non-profits, it is very profitable to hit that red subscribe button and make it grey. Anyways, that's it for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. If you didn't, the other button works. If you think that anyone will benefit from this video, make sure to share that. That's it for today's video. This is Mahadevan signing out.